Y'all are asking yourself, what are you frying up today? You read the leader. Pulled pork barbecue nachos. Making my own pork, making my own barbecue. I've been able to play with it. You know, you don't eat so many sandwiches. Although they're good, you wonder what else you can do with them. I've made tacos with them. And my favorite thing to make with them, though, is pulled pork nachos. I don't know if I like these better. I like sandwiches better, but I like them both real well. So what we're going to need is we're going to need a deep fryer. You can see the lights on. It's heating up. It's going to get to about 365, 370. We're going to need some cheese, obviously. We're going to need some corn shells, just raw corn shells, the kind you buy in a grocery store. I like sour cream, some jalapenos. We're going to need a bowl to drain the chips in once we get them made. We're going to need some pulled pork. Of course, you can see we have a cookie sheet there. I cover mine in aluminum foil. They get old and crusty, and I don't want to throw them out, so I just keep using them that way. Spray a little non-stick on that, and just for healthy good measure, I got a plate of lettuce over there. It's sitting over there by itself, not because I'm ignoring it, but because the oven's on, and my oven gets hot in the bottom. If I set the lettuce on top of it, before I can get these nachos made, the lettuce will be wilted, so we don't want that. Alright, let me go ahead and get some of these chips cut up. What I'm going to do is, you see I got a pizza cutter sitting next to these shells there. I'm just going to take those shells, there's 6 of them there, and I want a dozen nachos, so I'm going to take those shells and I'm going to cut them in half, and then I will fry them up. Once I get them cut in half and get the fryer going, I'll bring you all back and show you how to do that. There's a little trick you're going to want to. Alright, you can see that the light's gone off on the deep fryer. It's time to start frying our chips. This is a little trick. Now, you'll see when I put these in here, all these are is I've taken corn shells and I've cut them in half. I've cut 6 of them in half, so I'm going to end up with a dozen nachos. Kind of an odd number because 5 fits in here fine, 6 is a little crowded, and you don't want to overcrowd your grease. The other thing that you'll notice is I'm not using the baskets today. Like I told you, sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. For chips, I don't use them. So let's go ahead and get these put in here. Now the trick to this, the thing I wanted to show y'all before you go to making these, is you'll get a big air bubble in these chips. So you'll want to have a knife handy. Come back, just pop those air bubbles, put a cut in them. They're going to fry close. I mean, they'll fry up so that they're still usable, you'll see. But anyways, that'll help alleviate that pocket of air that gets trapped in there. And if you get that pocket of air, they're just hard to make. And if you chip it away, then you got a big hole in your chip, so that doesn't work too well for you. So give me a few minutes to get these all fried up, and then when I get ready to put them together, I'll bring you back and I'll show you that step there. Alright, as you can see, I got these chips fried up. One thing I did want to tell you, I told you I didn't use the baskets. It's kind of untrue. In the end, when I pull them out of the grease and they're hot, I'll put them in the basket and let the grease run off the chips through the basket. Hold it over that fryer for 10 or 15 seconds, shake it real good, and then go ahead and put it in your bowl that's got paper towels. So you want them to be as grease-free as possible, obviously. Alright, so here we go. What we're going to do first is we're going to add some pork. And you can see, even popping the bubbles, sometimes you still end up with some bubbles. But the ones that turn out real nice, they work real well. Lay these chips face to face. You get more on the pan that way. They work better. Plus, when you go to put the cheese on, you end up getting cheese on both of them. You don't waste your cheese. You pull them apart and you got cheese that connects to both of them. So I just find that I've made these a lot. I know you find that hard to believe, but I've made these quite often, so I've pretty much perfected the process in which you need to do. I've got a time limit here, so I'm hurrying to try to get these all put out and not run out of time. But what you're doing is you're just putting the see, even we popped that one, it still ended up with a hole in it. So let's do that to that one. We're not going to have enough pork. It doesn't look like for them all, and that's all right because I had some taco meat left over from last night. And you want to shred this pork as shredded as you can get because the big lumps are harder to deal with. I had some taco meat over from last night, so if you'll excuse me, I'm just going to put some meat on this leftover ground beef on these two here. And like I said, making extra, you can throw a couple of them away if they won't work for chips. Sometimes they pop up, they air up too much, and they just don't work. Or dip them in some salsa. These are great. I didn't put any salt on these to use them for this, but if you're going to use them for salsa, maybe spread a little salt on them. So let's go ahead and put a little cheese on there. You know what? Hang on a second. A couple of these, I'm gonna put a jalapeno slice on, right there in the middle. That's for you, Pops. I know you're watching this video. That's what you would do. You're sitting there thinking, if I was making them, I'd put a jalapeno slice on there. So, there you go. I love jalapenos more than they love me, so that's where I have to be careful. I can't put them on them all. But there you go. If you want to put a pepper on there, go ahead. And then we're just going to put cheese on the rest of these. And the cheese gets on the pan, I've sprayed that aluminum foil so it comes right off, and the nice thing is it makes baked cheese, so you know, life's good if you got some baked cheese. It's not extra. What do they call it? Cheese paper. You see that commercial, that cheese commercial, that cheeseburger commercial. You gonna eat your cheese paper? We all do it. I do. I admit to it. I try to get all the cheese I can. I'm the one that goes behind on the pizza box and gets that cheese. I like cheese. Get a little more on these. Alright, that's going to do that. What I've got is the oven preheating to 325. So I'll let that finish bringing up the temperature. Then we're going to put them in the oven for 5-6 minutes at 325. Alright, let's check on these. It's been about 8 minutes. Yeah, there you go. That's done. Let me go ahead and get those pulled out. Well, there you go, folks. Pulled pork nachos. If you've never had them, boy, you're in for a treat. And make the shells. Take the time. It's, you know, to me, it's not that big of a deal. It's an extra, I don't know, 10 minutes maybe to make your own shells. But they're so nice. They hold, you know, they hold a lot of stuff. You can get the meat on there. You can see they're easy to work with, and they're fabulous when you make them at home. You can't get any fresher than that. And try to find the thickest corn shell you can. It seems like the thicker they are, even the better they are. So there you are. Good luck. What I've done is I've set a couple of them over here where I've dressed them up the way that I like to have them. I like to put a little lettuce on them, because you know me and health food, you gotta get your veggies in there, and then some sour cream. And again, you know, I'm doing all I can. That sour cream is light sour cream. I eat sour cream on a lot of stuff. I think I love sour cream. So luckily there's a company out there that makes light sour cream. To me, it tastes, you know, it's not real sour cream, you know, full-blown sour cream, heavy, but it's good. And as much as I eat, it's one of those places I got to cut back. So I'm glad they have the product and use it. It doesn't. I've never found where it doesn't work. It works for everything. You can just direct replacement for regular sour cream. So anyways, there you go. Pulled pork nachos. You don't have to be king to eat like a king, and I prove it. Thanks for joining me.